This is SportsRage. I am Morency, and I swear to God, you wouldn't figure that they'd move an AHL number on me as I spoke out loud. But I said, you know what? I'm going to jump on the under 5.5 and minus 225 and moneyline parlays this with the Buffalo Bills. They moved it to 4.5 on me, so I had to play the alternate total at 5.5 in game here. Not so great. It turns into minus 186. Right now, but to me, whatever. Let's stay under the 5.5, and then suddenly I'll have the Buffalo Bills already just sort of stored. It's time to start stockpiling these plays right now. Saturday's games, there's not. I can't really say that Saturday's games are money line parlay material, right? Cleveland and Houston is a toss-up game, and everybody believes Miami are going to get blown out. I'm not so sure, Cam, they get blown out, actually. I'm going to hope for the best with Miami, but I'm going to put Miami in a 10-point teaser. 10-point teaser with Miami.
That's what I was thinking, too.
Plus 14.5.
You could probably – I like that. I like where you're going with 14.5. You know what? You could probably do a 10-point teaser with both sides of the first game. Think about it. You get Houston at what, 12?
No, I don't do both sides teasers, though. I do. I'm not that. I don't want to I don't have a problem with it if you want to go ahead and do it. But I think, listen, if you're doing a 10-point teaser tomorrow, Miami Dolphins plus 14.5 to me, Cleveland Browns plus 8, and the Browns and the Texans over 34.5, I think is a good 10-point teaser. But I like Saturday's card is okay. I think the Cleveland Browns. I know everyone's talking about the Houston Texans in this game. I don't think rookie quarterbacks win playoff games. Like I just went over the numbers. It's an ugly number. And I do believe in Joe Flacco and the Browns to be able to win a playoff game or two. Shout out to everyone joining us on Sirius XM Channel 159. Tony Finn's going to step up, and then we'll see in a couple of minutes from Area 51. So, Cam, what are your best bets? Good time to get them done here right now. What do you got for us in the National Football League?
Well, Gabe, let's see. I hope they're best bets, but I got some bets coming up here, and I'm going to take, first of all, that line has gone down. I'm with the Buffalo Bills. I know we talk about situations with weather. The reason I'm taking the Bills at 9.5, Gabe, it's gone down a half too, which is good. It also plays that 7-point teaser. We get a nice little 2.5 instead of a 3. I just don't believe in Mason Rudolph and Pittsburgh scoring. I know Buffalo knows what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run to try to set up the pass, but I believe in the Buffalo defense. And Vino brought up a great point. When the wind is blowing, I will trust Josh Allen's arm a hell of a lot more. I think he's going to score a touchdown in this game, and I think the Bills win this game by 17. I'm taking Buffalo. I do like the under in the Kansas City game. 44.5, now down to 44. I still think there's points are going to be at a premium. I'm with you, Gabe. I will tease Miami probably in a 10-point teaser, but I'm not just going to anoint Kansas City a victory if they have to win by 5 or more points in this game. We disagree on this game. I like Detroit, and a lot of people I respect, like the Rams. I just think Detroit at home will do enough in this game. I expect fireworks, the over. Also, I'm playing this game, but I see like a 34-28 type of game. I think the Lions come out on top, and Goff gets revenge against Stafford. Dallas, Green Bay over the number at 50.5. Vino's on that too. I like Green Bay plus 7.5. It is now 7. I would still bet it at 7. I think Green Bay hangs with Dallas. I think the running game is huge. I think Jones has a touchdown. I love your props, Gabe, with Jordan Love. He's been getting better every week and look really comfortable. One thing about Dallas is you can score points on these guys. That's what I'm going to do. And a 2-game teaser, we got Houston to 9.5 and the Bills to minus 2.5, 7-point teaser. Those are my plays, Morency.
All right, you're all in on the Houston Texans. You better hope that the Texans don't get beat up in this game.
Yeah, if they get blown out, if they get blown up, I'm in big trouble. Yeah, if they lose by more than 9, yep, big problem.
Listen, I don't think that Joe Flacco has come back to lose in his first playoff game, and the script just writes itself. And speaking of which, I see our boy Parker's joined the show here. Hey, what's up, buddy? It's been a little while since I check him out here. He's playing the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, is that a premonition? He likes the Vancouver's chances near Lord Stanley.
No, I don't know. What's to be honest, what would not a lot of correlations here, Cam. I guess, the only thing I can say is the Detroit Lions, a cat.
I like it. Cat's close. Yeah.
Like
a
cat
and a lion. There you go.
Like the Browns, it's a dog. The Browns and Texans know. Dolphins, Chiefs know. Steelers, Bills know. Packers, Cowboys. But Rams, Lions. You got a cat here.
Yes. It's a premonition with your cat. Go Honolulu blue and silver. Come on, cat. Turn into a lion.
You know what's crazy?
Let's go.
It's like he's staring at me. It's like he knows what I'm talking about. I say he really knows. Like, watch. Yeah. Like, he knows he's on camera, this guy.
Animals are
he's
smart.
Like a horse cam that wins a race. Like, they know. They look at the camera and they soak it in. Hey, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, he likes the entertainment there, right? Lions.
Hey, buddy.
Can do it. He's real furry.
He's a big guy. He's a big guy.
Yeah. You're feeding him well, Morency. He's a big guy. Lots of fur. Hope you got a Swiffer.
You're a big TV star, Parker. Who do you got tomorrow, Parker? Who are you taking? See, that's what I need, like that FanDuel commercial. They have a thing like your system, the cat picks. Like, that's what I need.
That's right. Home and away, and he hits the balloons.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. The pips, the players, the hustlers, the people, the bustler, but everybody else in between. Shout out to all of our AM radio affiliates joining us. Countdown to kickoff is on What's Up, SoCal? The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio and House of 50,000-watt juggernaut. So listen, we've been talking a lot about the weather. You got to be a meteorologist this week when you're betting on the National Football League games. Updated point spreads right now. The Cleveland Browns are 2-point favorites. This game kicks off at 4:30 Eastern Time, 1:30 Pacific Time. Joe Flacco versus C.J. Stroud. I bring this up because rookie quarterbacks have not fared well in the postseason. The last 10 years, there's been 6 rookie quarterbacks to start a playoff game. The only quarterback to win a game was Brock Purdy. This is what's really crazy. Since 2002, quarterbacks making their so forget about just rookies. Since 2002, quarterbacks making their first career playoff start in the wild card round are 15-39 straight up. That is a serious number right there. C.J. Stroud doesn't play like a rookie, but we're talking about a quarterback in Joe Flacco that's won a Super Bowl before. It's been a nice run for the Houston Texans, but I do believe that Jim Schwartz's defense will be able to come up with a wrinkle and something to be able to confuse C.J. Stroud a little bit in his first ever playoff game. So we talk about rookie quarterbacks struggling and first-time playoff quarterbacks struggling in the wild card round, 15-39 straight up. Last 10 years, only 6 rookie quarterbacks have started in a playoff game. They're 1-5 straight up. Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers, the only ones. Another interesting tidbit coming into this weekend is the 7 seeds. We've only been doing this for a couple of years right now, but no 7 seed has ever won a playoff game before. They've been eliminated right away. They're 0-6. The Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers both enter this weekend as the 7 seeds. Tony Finn enters this weekend as the 12th seed. Tony Finn will step up and in and join us from Area 51 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Cam Stewart in the house. Tony's a 16 seed, a play-in.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
So right now, he's a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division
I
favorite.
don't care if they win, because all we care about is the money, baby, the money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
San Francisco minus 120 to win the NFC Championship. It's the Cowboys with the second best number. The Eagles at 7-1.
What the hell's the difference between the 6 and the 7 seed? I need my guys healthier to make a playoff push. They took the bye week and still won the football game. You want to talk about 2 franchises going in the wrong direction? The Eagles, ridiculous what they did this week.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
It's a lot of fun to do because you could kind of, place a season-long bet all at once and just wait it out. I've always found that interesting. But New York is one state where it's a little bit unclear.
You cannot bet on basically anything that requires a vote. So you're talking about an MVP award, a Cy Young, a Rookie of the Year, anything where people at the end of the year have to vote.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
And I tell you what, there's 1,000,001 coaching vacancies right now. Brady Cannon is a candidate for the Vegas Raider job. Like there's so many jobs available right now. NFL teams are coming to the grid for our talent. So there's that many head coaching spots available right now. I'm going to submit my resume.
SportsRage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, the Pelicans are sort of battling back right now. It's 112-98 in this game. There's 5:40 left. So they're sort of hanging around. I've got a big play on the over of this game. And I've got over 229.5, actually. It's on pace right now, but well, actually, you know what? We're looking pretty good. It's 239.5 right now, the in-game number. They just scored another free throw. It's 112-99. So the Pelicans didn't quit, even though they were down big. Let's check in Reno right now. Nevada, undefeated on their home court this year. That's in jeopardy right now. Boise State are winning 44-36. Nevada's offense just can't get going right now. Nevada were 6.5-point favorites. Boise State are currently 5.5. The in-game total is 122.5. Very, very low. Let's check in on the foul situation. And you know what? Boise State have already committed 6 fouls. There's still 10 minutes left. Nevada only have 3 fouls. I bring this up because this means that Nevada are going to spend a lot of time on the free throw line for the rest of this basketball game. So they're going to be able to potentially free throw their way back in this game. The in-game total just went to 120.5. We're waiting on Tony Finn to step up and in. Cam Stewart just gave us his NFL best bets. We got a full slate of NHL hockey on Saturday. And a couple of smoking hot teams in action. The Vancouver Canucks, season-long 7-game road trip for the Vancouver Canucks has started off with a 4-0 start. They beat the Devils, they beat the Rangers, they beat the Islanders, they beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now they get the Buffalo Sabres, which is somewhat of a trap game for Vancouver right now. 4-0 on the road, couple of days off. Getting the Buffalo Bills, Vancouver, sitting in the hotel though, and it's not like there's a hell of a lot to do in the middle of an emergency in Buffalo, a state of emergency that they're under right now in the state of New York. So I don't even know if they'll end up playing this game. They probably will. But the Canucks are minus 155 favorites. You always bet on the Buffalo Sabres, Cam. Are you taking the Sabres here?
I've actually bet on them less this year and picked my spots. I knew they could beat Ottawa, and that they made that interesting. The Sabres could be the spot where Vancouver's had a successful road trip. But Gabe, they've also had time off, and it's incredible to me where the Vancouver Canucks are laying 50 cents in this game, yet you have an ice-cold Ottawa Senator team playing at the same time against the Sharks laying 220. That's just bad lines by the lines makers. That's ridiculous. Vancouver, a much better team than Buffalo, just could be a bad spot. I haven't bet this game yet. I got to dig a little bit deeper into it. I'm seeing a total of 7. I would not be surprised. I know that's crazy, but I expect the Canucks to score and Buffalo to score. That's one thing they do is know how to score and give up goals. So, yeah, I would look at the over in that game, especially if you get a 6.5. Wait to bet it, not betting it at 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna play over 1.5 for the first period in the Vancouver Buffalo game. I will note too, over the years, I've made a lot of money betting Vancouver games over 1.5 for the first period. And even though they're a high scoring team now, there's been a few games, quite a few, where it's 1-0 after the first period for Vancouver, and then they sort of open up as the game goes on. They've been pretty conscious of playing good defense early, but to me, this game, there will be goals early in this one, Vancouver and Buffalo. 4 o'clock Eastern time. And another smoking hot team right now. I mean, they're up to 10 in a row. The Seattle Kraken. They're minus 160 favorites in Columbus. This team is just dialed up right now and in a zone, similar to Tony Finn, who's dialed up and in a zone. He's ready to go. Tony Finn in the house. What's up, Tony?
I'm up. Some kind of up. I'm not sure dialed up or that kind of thing. But it's good.
Are you up money tonight? I guess that's the question. Are you up tonight?
Am I what?
Profits? Are you up profits tonight?
I am up profits tonight, but not so much that I'm going to squeal like a girl, and act like the Beatles are playing or something. But I'm up.
This guy's nuts. We've come up with this stuff.
I guess it could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been. He's up.
I am not up right now. And it's one of those deals where I could end up sort of being around up. I got my eye on stuff. And we'll start off with college basketball here right now, Tony. I need the Nevada Wolfpack to get back in this basketball game. I just have them on the money line, but they're not getting back in it. It's starting to slip away from them. It's 48-38 right now for Boise State over Nevada. Nevada were 9-0 on their home court, dude, coming into tonight.
9-0 on their home court and touchdown favorites. In this event, that's when you got them on the money line. They're 7-point favorites. I think I closed that. Am I correct?
Yeah, 6.5. I put them in a money line parlay.
Yeah,
and I laid the points.
Yeah, and you laid the points too. Oh well.
Yeah.
And guess double,
what? It's a. And I have the over. I think I have. Please don't tell me I'm 0 for 3 here. Yeah, I have the over 133.5 here as well. I need a miracle.
Yes, you need a area.
You need overtime. That's what you need. You need overtime.
Yeah, but Nevada's not getting back in it right now.
Boise's
all
good.
Right, we'll get into the football on the other side. Yeah, Boise's been playing good basketball. They came in on a 4-game win streak. So, Tony, what about Saturday's college basketball? Some interesting games on the card here. Some big-time teams playing against each other, including St. John's and Creighton. We talked about this game a little bit earlier. Total is 152.5. Rob Vino was liking the over of this game. St. John's, I'm intrigued by getting 7.5 with St. John's here. I think they can hang around in this game. This is a big test for them, though, going on the road. We've got the Kentucky Texas A&M game, which is an interesting one. And you're always I know you follow the Jayhawks closely. Kansas and Oklahoma. Let's go to that one, actually. Sooners and Jayhawks. What do you think about that one?
Well, I think the line tells you a few things. If you saw them, I had to write up a small, short little quip on the game last week when they were playing Central Florida. And the metrics, guys, if you saw the metrics, and I put them side by side for you and showed you some underlying peripherals on that game, KU was 20 points better than that team on a neutral court. And they started out pretty well, and then as the game went along, you see some of the cracks in this Jayhawks armor that's going to prevent them from repeating as champions. Let's put it that way. And there's just no possible way, in my opinion, unless something drastically happens to a couple of their young wings and they learn to shoot straight. But here's the deal: Oklahoma minus 5.5 at Allen Fieldhouse at the Fog. Now the Jayhawks they're changing the lineup tomorrow. Bill Self is putting in a young kid at the wing and trying to change this front line a little bit. So we're going to see. I think that is the question mark and why this number hasn't gone one way or the other and why it didn't open a little larger.
Tony Finn kicking it with us right now. What do you think about Kentucky and Texas A&M?
Well, what does that line tell you, guys? So what's Texas A&M doing basically opening as a pick'em in Kentucky?
It's a trap. They're trying to bait you into taking Kentucky. That's what that line tells you.
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. And the thing is, it didn't only open as a pick. The last time I looked, A&M was a point and a half favorite in Lexington. Are you kidding me?
Tony Finn kicking it with us. So what do you like, Tony? We got about a minute on the clock here before our break. What do you like in college basketball tomorrow?
Well, I'll tell you, just the game we just talked about, I'll be one of those gamers that's, I'll play number. I'll play just a number and know that, that Texas A&M -1, you're supposed to love Kentucky, right? I'm going to be contrary to a number of players, and I'm going to jump on the sharp money because it was sharp money. This happened right as the bell went off this morning at the books when the move went from pick 'em to 1.5. So there was some sharp money early. Let's see what happens between now and tomorrow at 11 a.m., I think, or noon, something like that, when that game tips off. But I will be on A&M. Florida State Seminoles. The line here also is a little bit strange to me. If you know anything about Notre Dame, I've faded Notre Dame I've faded them probably 6 or 7 times early this season. Now they've played a little better recently. They beat me a couple times, actually, recently. But Virginia's really their only win other than last week. They played pretty well. And this Seminoles team is long and lean, guys. Lean. The number 1 length in the country. Florida State minus a small number.
Florida State are the Toronto Raptors of NCAA. Long and lean. Can't shoot. We'll hit San Diego State and New Mexico when we come back and get into the National Football League. Aztecs and Lobos.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
So right now, we saw a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division
I
favorite.
don't care if they win because all we care about is the money, baby. The money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
San Francisco -120 to win the NFC Championship. It's the Cowboys with the second best number. The Eagles at 7-1.
What the hell's the difference between the 6th and the 7th seed? I need my guys healthy here to make a playoff push. They took the bye week and still won the football game. You want to talk about 2 franchises going in the wrong direction? The Eagles. Ridiculous what they did this week.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's a lot of fun to do because you could kind of, place a season-long bet all at once and just wait it out. I've always found that interesting. But New York is one state where it's a little bit unclear.
You cannot bet on basically anything that requires a vote. So you're talking about an MVP award, a Cy Young, a Rookie of the Year, anything where people at the end of the year have to vote.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
And I tell you what, there's 1,000,001 coaching vacancies right now. Brady Cannon is a candidate for the Vegas Raider job. Like there's so many jobs available right now. NFL teams are coming to the grid for our talent. So there's that many head coaching spots available right now. I'm going to submit my resume.
SportsRage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. Let's do this thing. Countdown to kickoff is on. But I said I wanted to get to this San Diego State game against New Mexico. The Lobos laying 3.5 here, Tony. Total is 150.5 against the Aztecs, 14-2 on the season. They're balling, right? They're one of the most consistent programs in America, but they are just 6-8 ATS on the season. The Lobos have been a moneymaker this year, 13-3 straight up, 10-5 ATS. They are coming off the surprising loss. You know, I guess not surprising, whatever. It was a 2-point, they were 2-point favorites in the game, but they lost to UNLV. It's the same UNLV team that SDSU just beat last Saturday. So what's your take on this game, Tony? How do you think this one plays out?
It's a tough one for me to wrap my arms around. Mostly because this two teams that play completely different. You have a San Diego State team that's very deliberate. They prefer to be working in a half-court set, depending on their opponent. And you got a New Mexico team behind Patino who wants to play at tempo. So it's in the pit. First off, it's in the pit. And if a game's in the pit, guys, and I have any inkling or any feeling in my gut that New Mexico's a play, then usually I'm on New Mexico or I'm away from the game. But this is a little bit contrary to as well. I really, as I said last weekend, I like San Diego State in that game, laying that big number. They were laying 9.5. And I like them getting 3 points here in the pit. This is a team that's not going to be scared of the pit. They're not going to be intimidated. And if they can, in any way, shape, or form, control the tempo here, I think they're a winner, straight up.
You know, I was thinking the same thing about this game, actually, in the sense of a lot of teams are intimidated. SDSU are a great road team. I don't trust New Mexico enough laying 3.5 here. I think the Aztecs are an attractive underdog look. 123-109. So we got our over in the Denver New Orleans game. Let's check back in Reno and get back to the National Football League right now. 50-42 for Boise State. Looks like Nevada are going to lose their first home game of the season. They've only lost one game all year. They're 15-1. Boise playing good basketball. They're up 50-42. With 6:50 left, the in-game total is 122.5. Boise are currently laying 5.5 points in this game. And Oregon State and Arizona, the women, they're in overtime, 71-70 in that game. So NFL football, let's do this thing. Tony, you're a big Kansas City guy. What do you think about this big weather and the Arctic blast and all this with this Dolphins game? Because I've been saying, I don't know why the Dolphins are even bothering going to Kansas City. People think that they're going to freeze on the field, like they're going to be like snowmen. They're going to be unable to move, icicles. What's your take on this game? Number 4.5 right now, total 43.5.
Well, this game opened. What it opened 1.5, I think. And some of the outlaw lines were 1.5. My Chiefs small favorite at home, and it's climbed about everywhere. Not only this thing pass up to 3.5, there was no buyback from any sharp money on the 3.5, and now it's gone to 4.5, as you just described, Gabe, which would lean one who follows. Anybody who follows sharp money is going to be on the Chiefs here. Tua's numbers in cold weather are pretty dismal if you've ever looked at those numbers, and I know it's a small sample size, and I know we're talking about just weather, but Miami as a whole, really over the last 20 years, have been a team that's been that plays at about a 25 or 30% clip. Straight up in weather and games under 40 degrees. Now, why is that? Well, it's the same thing for a lot of locals here who make the first move here, and then they spend 3 or 4 summers at 115, nice 100 degrees in shade, and then and then it gets down to about 80 degrees, and they need a parka. And it's just a matter of your blood and how it thins and what you're used to. And Miami's not used to temperatures at 0 with winds at 15, 20 miles an hour.
It is true.
It's going to be. Yes,
it is true. It doesn't matter if you grew up in the East Coast or the Midwest. Once you've lived on the West Coast, you get acclimated to the weather and everything feels cold again after. One thing about the Miami Dolphins, too. So as Tony mentioned, listen, Tua's 0-4 straight up. So he's never won he's 0-4. He's played 4 games when the temperature is 45 degrees or less. There's all different kinds of stats with the Dolphins, 40 degrees, 45 degrees. I can tell you they're 0-10 straight up the last 10 games that they played when the temperature is 45 degrees or less as well. And throw out the weather. This has nothing to do with weather, but the Miami Dolphins were outscored in the second half in 5 of 6 games against winning teams this season by 86-42. I said it earlier, Tony. There's just not. It's hard to. There's no. You know what I mean? Usually you can hang your hat on something. Yeah, but this team can do that. This team can do this. The only thing we really have here is that Kansas City are a flawed football team as well. But I can get into numbers. KC are actually really good in cold weather. Like Mahomes doesn't lose these playoff games in cold weather. He's 10-0. So what's your take on the game? What's your pick going to be?
Well, I think you're right. What you just laid out for everyone is accurate, and I think and to his numbers, we can go deeper than that. They're worse than what you described, and it was pretty. It was hard to support what you laid out there. And what I think is this, and that is the offensive line. Miami's facing. They're going to have like four second stringers. I call them second stringers, second teamers, or reserves in that secondary tomorrow because of the injuries. They've lost their best two rush-ins, and really, they really need to be able to run the football. And if there's one thing that Kansas City does well, is at least Spags does really well, and that is defend the run. So every single variable I look at points favor to the Chiefs. Laying the number, you lay it, or you stay away from the game, in my opinion.
All right. So what do you think about the first game with the Cleveland Browns and the Houston Texans? This has been a polarizing one as well. Here's an interesting fact as far as Kevin Stefanski is concerned. I'm saving the good stuff for last, but Kevin Stefanski has never lost to an AFC South team before. He's 10-0.
Yeah.
The Browns are 10-0. Their last 10 games against teams from the AFC South. I've also brought up the rookie quarterback stats a lot. Yeah. As far as the last 10 years, we've had 6 rookie quarterbacks start a playoff game. Brock Purdy is the only one to do it. C.J. Stroud's got ice in his veins. We'll give him credit. I'm on the Cleveland Browns here, Tony. I'll cut to the chase. I'm on the Browns. I think that Flacco, I love what Ford has done. All these backups have stepped up, and guys, everyone's getting it done. Njoku is playing like the player that they thought he would when they drafted him. I don't know what it is about Flacco and Njoku and the chemistry that they have, but it's amazing. Amari Cooper and Flacco's chemistry is big. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Cleveland are going to be able to make 1 or 2 more plays on both sides of the ball than Houston will. What's your take on this one?
Yeah. No, I'll cut right to the chase too. What I did was I played Cleveland in the first half at money line, minus 115, basically a pick 'em, right? For 2 reasons. One, as you just outlined, listen, if you're a numbers cruncher and you're a guy who plays strictly, a gamer who plays nothing but numbers, the good numbers, the bad numbers, and who cares about eye candy? Who cares about the optics? Who looks good or who's played well? And you do that, then why can't you possibly play against a rookie quarterback? Rookie quarterbacks in their first playoff game, it's a losing proposition. Long-term, overall, you're a loser if you're playing on CJ. And you got basically have a team, Cleveland, who's playing really good defense. Now, that said, the caveat here is their secondary has been beat up a little bit. So they're damaged there. But Flacco threw 11 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions in his last playoff series. Wasn't it? En route to Super Bowl MVP honors. Well, who was it playing? But that's what he did. And you look at experience against inexperience here, and it's hard for me to be on the Houston in the Houston corner, should I say.
Guys, any team that starts 5 different starting quarterbacks and makes the playoffs, I'm not betting against.
That's a really good point, actually. That's
well, you know, that's like these guys have been through hell this year. Like, you think that's going to fold now?
No, the thing is, Gabe, and I told you, like the coward's way, I'm not betting this game because of the number, and I'm taking Houston in a teaser. I think it's a close game where Cleveland's going to win by like 3 or 4 points. That's why I'm not getting enough for Houston to bet them. But I'll tell you, this kid, he's not your typical rookie quarterback. Stroud's an animal. He's got you said it, Gabe, ice water. He'll be ready to go, especially at home.
So is Joe Flacco, though. And, guys, Joe Flacco is 10-5 straight up. Joe Flacco has played 15 playoff games in his life. He's 10-5 straight up. Joe Flacco is 11-4 against the spread at 15 playoff games. And this is what's really crazy about Joe Flacco as well. Joe Flacco has never lost the first playoff game. He's never lost a wild card or the first playoff game that he's played in. He's 6-0 in his first playoff game, 5-1 against the spread. See, as I was saying, Tony, there's a lot I can hang my hat on here with Cleveland. I don't have anything to hang my hat on here and my bald head. I don't have anything to hang my hat on as far as the Dolphins are
You're
concerned.
right.
I do like the over of this game too, though. I keep going back to, listen, 44.5 is light. 24-21 gets us there. These two teams played on Christmas Eve. It was a track meet, even though it was the backup quarterbacks. There's going to be some points put up on the board in this game. Pittsburgh and Buffalo, Tony, what's your pick for this one?
Well, I'll say this: I'm not in this room, but if I was, I got to be on Buffalo minus the number here. I'm not afraid of laying wood with Buffalo. They're one of those teams you can see by their, their point differential as well. When they win, they usually typically win big. They've won some close games, but that's the type of team that they either win by 21 or they look crappy. That's just my opinion. I know it's optics and it's a bias towards Buffalo, but I like Buffalo minus the number here, guys. I really do. In Buffalo.
Tony's going to lay the points with the Buffalo Bills. Of course, T.J. Watt out of this football game. In 11 games, the Pittsburgh Steelers have played without T.J. Watt. They're 1-10 straight up, and they give up. When T.J. Watt plays, they give up 19 points a game. When T.J. Watt doesn't play, they give up 26 points a game. He's worth a full touchdown a game.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run, run, run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
Right now, he's a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division
I
favorite.
don't care if they win because all we care about is the money, baby. The money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
San Francisco minus 120 to win the NFC Championship. It's the Cowboys with the second best number. The Eagles at 7-1.
What the hell's the difference between the 6 and the 7 seed? I need my guys healthy here to make a playoff push. They took the bye week and still won the football game. You want to talk about two franchises going in the wrong directions? The Eagles. Ridiculous what they did this week.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's a lot of fun to do because you could kind of, place a season-long bet all at once and just wait it out. I've always found that interesting. But New York is one state where it's a little bit unclear.
You cannot bet on basically anything that requires a vote. So you're talking about an MVP award, a Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, anything where people at the end of the year have to vote.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
And I tell you what, there's 1,000,001 coaching vacancies right now. Brady Cannon is a candidate for the Vegas Raider job. Like there's so many jobs available right now. NFL teams are coming to the grid for our talent. So there's that many head coaching spots available right now. I'm going to submit my resume.
SportsRage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Let's do this thing. Countdown to kickoff is on. Great time of the year. Always love Wild Card Weekend. An expanded Wild Card Weekend this weekend. The way they spread this out, 2 games Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, and then, of course, on Monday nighter with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We had the great Rob Vino on earlier, great handicapper. And Rob actually lives in the Philadelphia area. Was in Vegas, but lives in Philly right now. And he's soaking it all up, Tony, as far as, the local media, the feeling about the football team. I speak to a lot of people that are close to the Philadelphia Eagle organization. It's one of the few teams that actually do speak to people that are inside the room type of deal. And it's a complete mess in there, right? Like Sirianni might get fired type of deal because Sirianni's lost the confidence of everybody. The coaching changes. It's just the erratic stuff. You hired Brian Johnson to be the offensive coordinator, but you're not letting him make the calls. The players are sensing the coach's panic right now. And Sirianni is defensive with everybody suddenly. I'm not saying he's getting fired, but I saw a report tonight pop up, actually, that he could, actually, if they lose on Monday. I don't want to go down that road. But interesting football game on Monday in a train wreck sort of way. But Tony says you like the Buffalo Bills. What about the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys, Tony? What you got there?
I say this right now. I like Green Bay in this game. I haven't liked Green Bay all year. I haven't liked Love. In fact, I said some things, or I wrote some things about Love that have turned out to be about as wrong as they can be. I thought he was going to be this. Yeah. I know.
Tony Finn's freezing cold takes.
Wow, I like it. And if I use it, I'll use some money for that. By the way,
I got
but I have a problem. If Dallas can stop the run, look what Buffalo did. Look what Buffalo did to Dallas running the football. I mean, if you can run the football against Dallas, you're going to beat Dallas. You are. And what Buffalo did was if you're not a Cowboys fan, you're a Cowboys hater, and there's lots of them. It was a day to celebrate. So I would be on Green Bay.
We talked about it earlier. The Dallas Cowboys have all these great numbers. Listen, man, the Cowboys have won 16 consecutive home games. 16 in a row. All right. They've won all 8 home games this year by an average of 21 points per game. But I brought up the Detroit Lion game. And to me, Tony, the Lions and the Packers, similar teams coming from the same division, etc. What happened when Detroit played Dallas? If you know what I mean, the game would have went to overtime if Dan Campbell didn't kept going for 3 times in a row. So the game would have ended up going to overtime. It was a close game. I think Dallas's numbers are a little overinflated because some of these teams that they played. The Cowboys and Eagles have both had cupcake schedules for the last 2 years. They're like college football teams that aren't quite as good as they appear to be once they play real teams. You see Dallas struggle against good teams. Philadelphia struggle against good teams. Green Bay are playing with house money. I love the over that game. I'll get to my best bets in a minute. But so, Tony, you're liking the Green Bay Packers. Any opinion on the total?
I would be over in this game. If you're liking the Pack, really, if you're liking, you're going to play against the Cowboys. In my opinion, you really need to be on the over as well. I don't see Dallas losing a low-scoring game in a fist fight, especially in the trenches. But again, if you can run the football on this team like Buffalo did, you're going to beat this team. You're going to beat, and it'll be historic, won't it? They stop the home win streak, and once again, we'll see drama and chaos in Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, Dallas, Fort Worth area.
All right, for each game, I'm trying to drop a noteworthy, cool little trend here. For this one, Dallas Cowboy fans are going to, George Kurtz, if he's listening, what up, George? You're not going to like this one. Dallas Cowboys, 4-12 against the spread their last 16 playoff games.
Excellent.
Yeah. Like that sort of, you know what I mean? That's the thing with Dak, right? Like, and I like Dak Prescott. And it's not just him, but as a whole, Dallas they just haven't gotten it done in the playoffs, right? So I sort of throw out the fact that, they win by 21 points a game and stuff. I do think this is going to be a close game. I think Dallas will score. I think Green Bay can trade points with them. Dallas probably survives. Like, this one could be really fun. Like, it wouldn't shock me if this game ended up 30-27 or 34-31 or something crazy like that. I love the Los Angeles Rams, Tony. Talk me out of it. Rams win the game outright.
I can't talk you out of that. I really can't. I mean, I can sit here and we can have a little conversation and dialogue, and we can argue. I can make an argument for both sides of that. But I think
we could waste time and pretend that the Lions have a chance
Exactly.
of winning this game when they don't.
No, well,
so that bit,
I like the way
that bit when your cat didn't mean anything.
I own these things. I put my name on it.
Said the Lions were going to win. Come on, I'm listening to your cat.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Like I said, I like Detroit. I'm a fan of Detroit. I like the way this team plays football. I like their coach. I like the staff. But I like what you said. I can't argue that.
Rams are hot, very hot.
I mean, let's put experience on the coaching staff in this game. If you put any weight at all on the Rams coaching staff versus the Detroit Lions coaching staff, I guess experience would definitely lean in the side of the Rams, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Dude, Dan Campbell versus Sean McVay is like Eddie Van Halen versus someone from Hee Haw playing the banjo, bro.
Now you're going to get some drive-bys on that one. Because there are a lot of people who like that banjo.
No, the banjo's good.
On,
I don't want to pick on that.
Banjo's good.
Roy
But
Clark
I
played.
get your way you're playing. Yeah.
You can really shred. All right, bad analogy. That was good, but
pretty good. I think we got the point. Yeah, we got the point.
I don't know. It's like Stephen Hawking versus Homer Simpson.
Yes, yeah, we'll accept that. And Jennings versus
Okay.
That's an analogy. Yes.
All right, so
Dan Campbell, I'd have McVay on Jeopardy over Campbell.
The Lions have a hard time stopping the pass. All right, and I'll tell you what, Matt Stafford. And I'll put my hand up too. I haven't been wrong about a lot of things lately, but I was wrong about Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford's not done. I thought he was done. I thought he was like old and just whatever. It's like, hey, you won the Super Bowl. You didn't play great in the Super Bowl. You're making like $68 million a year in back bonus money now, and you're just showing up for the money. But I'll tell you what, if you protect this guy, he'll pick you apart, bro. Like, he still can throw it. He can still sling it. And they are protecting him. And you have a Detroit Lions secondary, bro, that's very shaky to begin with. Now you have to deal with Nacua and Cooper Kupp and the ground game of Williams that they have going on. Their defense has been balling. You have Sean McVay versus Dan Campbell and Matthew Stafford's return here to Detroit. Not to mention, I personally believe, and this is me feeling, I thought the same thing about the Washington Huskies, and I was right. I thought the Washington Huskies would be nervous in the national championship game. Yeah, you beat Texas, but there's levels to this stuff. And the Lions have never been in the playoffs. Goff has been. Who else on that team's been in the playoffs before? Right? Like, who's been in a big moment? I'll tell you who's been in a big moment in the Rams, about 22 of them, all right? They're going to win this football game. I believe the Rams are going to go in there, and they're going to win this football game. Monday night, Tony, who you got? Eagles or Bucks?
I'm all over. Listen, I heard what you had to say about the Eagles and the fact that you do have some cohorts there in Philly that maybe are beat writers, et cetera, that do some work with them. And I would agree with you. First off, I like chaos in a locker room with Saturday. I like it with this Philly team. They've been through some of that before, not like Hurts' early year, his rookie year. But this is the Tampa Bay team that right now, everybody's talking that basically Mayfield's going to be the hero in this game, but Mayfield's got a sprained ankle. He can't run away from rush, and his ribs are hurting so bad. He didn't throw but one pass with 20 yards of air last week in that 9-0 win. And I don't know how in the world the Philly doesn't go in there. And I think Philly's going to go in there and embarrass him personally, even right next to the spaceship or the pirate ship, whatever you want to call it.
There's a big difference between a pirate ship and a spaceship.
Yeah, it's a pirate
ship.
There
is. I've never seen a pirate ship on land. It must be a spaceship.
A Buccaneer doesn't go on a spaceship. He goes on a pirate ship.
Now we're going back to the Homer Simpson, Stephen Hawking. Like, modern Buccaneer pirate ship, old.
I really like you. I
can't argue with you. Even though I want to take Tampa
I like the Eagles
game,
too, Gabe. I'm on the Eagles.
I'm taking Tampa. Where's my Oklahoma Sooner helmet? I'm gonna get it out. Like I'm gonna bust out the Sooner. This for the Sooners, baby. Yeah. This is for the Sooners. This is for Baker Mayfield. Well, they're both actually Sooner quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts and Baker Mayfield. This battle, the Lincoln Riley Bowl here. All valid points, Tony. Listen, Tampa's offense has done nothing the last couple of weeks. They had 2 cracks at the division title. They won by default, essentially. Right? Mm-hmm. They won by default, essentially. But you can catch lightning in a bottle one night, one game. I've always thought, listen, Baker Mayfield's sort of underrated in the sense that he was never as good as people hyped him up to be in the beginning, and he was never as bad as people did. But I like the way he's fought through this stuff. And people sort of like, oh, my God, Baker Mayfield's like successful, or like, oh, wow. And when they won the division, they won and stuff, like through the year, he basically said, like, yeah, and you know what I mean? Yeah, so like what? Like what do you think? Like I'm some sort of loser that I'm here to like, we're not done yet. Like everybody say, he goes, no, that's not our goal. Like my goal wasn't like not to suck. Our goal is to win. Right. And Philadelphia are better than they are, but I think Tampa could be a live dog on Monday, but I'm not gonna lie. That's the game I like the least the most. If that makes sense. Yeah, I like the least the most.
They talked about this 5-1 run that these two teams are going to momentum-wise. Well, but here's Tampa's final 6 foes. It was Carolina twice, Atlanta, New Orleans, Jacksonville, and Green Bay, whereas the Eagles, they're 1-5.
That's as tough as it comes,
San Fran, Seattle, Dallas, Arizona. Yeah. So it's crazy.
That's a gauntlet. That was a gauntlet.
What a gauntlet. Yeah, exactly. A gauntlet. Tough teams.
All right, listen, we've got we got Joe Lisi has a prop that must be heard. Oh. It's so good that, we've been told, like, listen, like, Lisi's got a prop that, like, it's so good. We got to share this. So let's get Lisi's play here.
Cooper Kupp is 45-1 anytime touchdown score in the Super Bowl.
Okay, so they got to get there, though, right?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Right. He's never going to be
the best stand.
They get there, he's going to be like, what, minus 130 to score. Oh,
right.
God. Why'd you do that? Why'd you tell
Because I just want to I like to let you know what's there. Because you know what it is too? I can't ask you about the straight bets because then I know it's not enough. So I have to do that. Dalton Kincaid. Wait a minute. Let me find your guy. Hold on. Dawson Knox, 35-1. 35-1.
Oh, that's a juicy price. That's juicy. You see, because the book feels that Buffalo's going to be there potentially. So that's why he's got a cheaper price than Cooper Kupp. If you could get what's Malik Heath?
Go ahead.
That's a Malik Heath greenback.
That really wasn't some sort of hot pick here, giving me.
Buffalo goes to the Super Bowl. I think exactly. What the hell's going on
here? Does anybody screen these things?
Like seriously, Rams going to the Super Bowl? Come on now.
I think they're going to the no, they're not going to the Super Bowl. I want to make the argument that the Rams are going to the conference championship game, but they get the San Francisco 49ers up next. And I think
the Bills can go to the Super Bowl. I think your Bills can go to the Super Bowl.
We'll give our Super Bowl predictions on the other side.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
Right now, he's got a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division favorite.
I don't care if they win because all we care about is the money, baby. The money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
San Francisco minus 120 to win the NFC Championship. It's the Cowboys with the second best number. The Eagles at 7-1.
What the hell's the difference between the 6 and the 7 seed? I need my guys healthy here to make a playoff push. They took the bye week and still won the football game. You want to talk about two franchises going in the wrong direction? The Eagles. Ridiculous what they did this week.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
A lot of fun to do because you could kind of, place a season-long bet all at once and just wait it out. I've always found that interesting. But New York is one state where it's a little bit unclear.
You cannot bet on basically anything that requires a vote. So you're talking about an MVP award, a Cy Young, a Rookie of the Year, anything where people at the end of the year have to vote.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
And I tell you what, there's 1,000,001 coaching vacancies right now. Brady Cannon is a candidate for the Vegas Raider job. Like there's so many jobs available right now. NFL teams are coming to the grid for our talent. So there's that many head coaching spots available right now. I'm going to submit my resume.
SportsRage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. All right, we're on the clock here right now. So, you know what? Let's do our Super Bowl predictions, actually. We're talking about this team and that team. Who's going to make it to the Super Bowl, Cam? Who's playing in the Super Bowl in Las Vegas?
I can't believe I'm going to say this. The Bills beat the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
Oh, my God. I didn't see that coming.
See, that's a hot take. Or real cold.
See, that's something that's worth putting on. That's worth a clip right
Thank
there.
you.
Cam says
Yeah,
the Bills and the Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
Yes, one of those teams, if not two. Hey, what's everyone going to pick, Gabe? I got it. Ravens and Niners. It's going to be. I know the favorites can get there, but I'm telling you, I really like the Bills' chances, and I'm taking a shot with Dallas. I had them at the start of the year. Probably San Francisco though.
The Buffalo Bills to beat the Dallas Cowboys is 30-1. The Dallas Cowboys to beat the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl is 30-1. So that's a 30-1 shot right there either way. So
Put
you
it
make
in my
it
video.
30-1. All right.
Yeah.
Tony, who's playing in the Super Bowl?
How about this for crazy too? Let's go repeat of last year. Philadelphia and Kansas City both to pass. I think if Philly wins the championship, I think they win big.
Oh
big.
my God!
Yeah,
that is sick. Philadelphia and Kansas City. I thought I had problems. Oh, let's see.
All right,
I
who's
love
gonna
you,
win?
Tony.
Kansas City again?
Yeah. Kansas City?
No, I think Philly.
You think Philly's going to win the Super Bowl?
80-1.
Don't erase
Fire
this.
Sirianni after what you played in the Super Bowl.
I got a wimpy safe pick after you guys.
Yeah. Put this in the archives.
Tony. All right, Tony. Philadelphia Eagles Tony's saying the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl. Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Kansas City Chiefs is 80-1. I am going to take
I got
the Buffalo Bills.
I got 1800.
The Buffalo Bills. You're done, Tony. The Buffalo Bills to beat the San Francisco 49ers. 12-1.
Gabe, my buddy got that Super Bowl matchup earlier on in the year in his book. 51-1. Doesn't matter who wins. Just those teams meet. San Francisco and
Bills,
Buffalo.
Niners, Super Bowl. Other night, you're on your own later.